Welcome to Familypreneur, the podcast for parent entrepreneurs
raising kidpreneurs.
It's time for your weekly dose of inspiration and actionable tips to build your business and find better balance, all while strengthening your family. And now we'd like to introduce your host.
She's my mom and thebomb.com, Meg Brunson.
Hey there, you are listening to episode number 87 of the Familypreneur podcast. It is Monday, and on Mondays we talk about marketing. And March is the month that I am super focused on podcasting. But I want you to know that even if you are not a podcaster, you are going to walk away with immense value from this episode. So do not give up on me yet. All right. If you are brand new to the podcast, welcome. I'm so excited to have you with me today. And like I mentioned, on Mondays, we talk about marketing. Wednesday, you can join me for a midweek mastermind in which I will be interviewing a parent or child entrepreneur. This is a parent week, and next week we'll return with a kidpreneur. So we alternate those. And then on Fridays, I have a short solo episode where I deliver some of my Friday reflections. This could be anything that ranges from family or entrepreneurship or any type of balance of the two things. So that is the general setup of this show. If you are a returning listener, welcome back. I'm happy to have you back with us. And I encourage everybody to hit the subscribe button on their podcasting apps and give us an honest review. Reviews are a great way for us to have a little more discoverability within the podcasting apps so that more parent entrepreneurs can find this podcast. It's also a great way for me to get some feedback. Or if you want to reach out to me directly, I would love to connect with you directly. If you have some feedback or ideas for future shows, future topics, you can always connect with me across social media. I'm at the Meg Brunson just about everywhere: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I've got a Facebook group where we have many listeners that are engaging and interacting, and you can join that group at familypreneurcommunity.com. That'll redirect into the free Facebook group. So any of those ways would be a great way to give some feedback to me, and we'll get those topics that you're interested in on future episodes. Now let's dive into this week's content. Just a couple weeks ago, I spoke at PodFest Multimedia Expo, which is a big podcasting conference. It was held in Orlando, and it was absolutely amazing if you are a podcaster. Now, I spoke on the topic of Facebook ads for podcasters, and last week I dove into strategy number 1, which was leveraging a landing page to drive traffic to your podcast, to increase downloads, to increase subscriptions, and in a way that you can also remarket that traffic. Again, even if you're not a podcaster, this strategy is really important if you have an opt-in. For example, if you're building a list, which everybody should be building a list. We talked on Friday in episode number 86 about the Facebook blackout. So that happened last week. Facebook was down for about a day, and people were losing their minds. And it just reinforces the importance of having an email list that you own, right? So that you can reach out to your people even if social media is down. So this all is kind of perfectly wrapped into one another. Today, we're going to talk about strategy number 2, and that strategy involves ads on the mobile platform that are specifically delivering to either Apple or Android devices. Now, if you do not have a podcast, if you do not have a mobile app, because this strategy is really great for app developers too. So if you don't have one of those two things, this can still be a valid strategy for you because so many people are accessing social media from their mobile devices as opposed to from desktop. So it can be a very relevant strategy to segment your mobile traffic from your desktop traffic and then allow your budget to be pushed 100% to your mobile traffic. Either way, it's good information to know how the Facebook Ads Manager works, how the ad tools work, and how you can leverage the different placement options to work for your ads and your business. So let's dive into the strategy. When you are ready to build your ads, the first thing you need to do is get into Ads Manager. Remember, I do not encourage you to promote any posts from your page. There are two interfaces for building ads. The page level, which is where you see the boost buttons and things like that sprinkled all over your page. And then there is Ads Manager. Always go into Ads Manager. It's super easy to get there. You can go to facebook.com/manage. That will redirect you into Ads Manager. And from there, you just hit the green Create Ad button and you are good to go. The first thing you'll be asked to do is select your objective. Now, for the purposes of the podcast for this tutorial, you are going to select the traffic objective because you are driving traffic from Facebook to an off Facebook site. Okay, so you're going to select traffic. Now let's take a little pause. If you are running a different type of ad, you may be selecting a different objective. So just know that I cover the objectives. I've covered them in previous podcasts. I cover them on the blog, and I cover them through my quarterly campaign planner, which is a freebie opt-in that you can get your hands on at megbrunson.com/plan. But we're not going to dive into all of the objectives in this episode. I'm just talking about this one specific strategy, which involves using the traffic objective. But just know that other objectives may be applicable as well. Returning back to our strategy, you select the traffic objective, name it something that is going to be relevant to you, hit continue, and that will bring you into the ad set level. Now we're going to scroll down to the part of Ads Manager, to the part of the ad set level within Ads Manager, where you are going to identify what you want your placements to be. Facebook always defaults to all recommended placements, which allows Facebook to put those ads anywhere that they are able to be shown based on the size of the ad, the duration of the video, etc., etc. For this example, and in most cases, you want to switch that to edit placements and then go in there and make some strategic decisions about where the ads should be displayed. The first thing that you're going to want to do is change the setting from mobile and desktop to just showing these ads in mobile. So we do not want these ads to be shown in desktop at all, only mobile. So first you're going to make that change. And then the second step is going to be scrolling down past the different platforms that you can have the ad display. And you'll be able to choose the operating device that you want these ads shown on. Now you can choose iOS, Apple, or Android. For the purposes of setting up these ads, you're going to just pick one. It doesn't matter which one you start with because you can go back and we'll real easily be able to set up the second version super fast. So let's just, for the purposes of this example, set up the iOS Apple ads first. So you're going to select iOS from that dropdown and then continue on to the ad level. Now at the ad set level, you're also going to need to do other things, right? Like identify your budget, select your audience. Those things will all be covered through the quarterly campaign planner at megbrunson.com/plan or from other blog posts and podcast episodes. So again, we're just focusing on like the nitty gritties for this strategy. So we're going to go into the ad level. Here, you're going to fill out your copy, your creative, and for the link, you're going to link directly to iTunes. Now, I recommend linking to your show in iTunes, not specific episodes. The reason is because linking to the show will allow this to be a more evergreen ad where you can drive traffic to the place where people are going to be able to see your most recent episodes and also subscribe to the show. Savvy podcast listeners will be able to scroll around and find the exact episodes that they want to listen to or check out the episodes that are trending. But if you do have a specific episode that stands out as being a really strong episode, a great guest, a great topic, you could certainly play around with linking to that episode specifically on iTunes. Once everything is set, go ahead and push this through the review process. Then what you're going to want to do is go back to the ad set level and hit duplicate. You're going to duplicate the iOS ad set, to create a brand new ad set, and this is going to be your Android ad set. Now, all the work that you've done has been copied, and all you have to do is go in and change everything and change the fields that are relevant from iOS to Android. And that's two things, only two things. So at the ad set level, that means going into the operating system underneath placements and changing it from iOS to Android. And at the ad level, it means swapping out your link from the Apple iTunes link to the Google Podcasts link. I recommend using the Google Podcasts link because that's a link that's going to work on any Android devices, as that podcasting app is built into the Android operating system. However, other apps like Stitcher or Overcast or Castbox, those are not automatic. So that would require an extra step for downloading the app, which I don't really want to make my users do. I figure if somebody is a Stitcher user and they get my link and it sends them to Google Podcasts and they're interested in my show, they can go to Stitcher and find it there. I've done that before with podcast episodes. So that is all you need to do to tweak that iOS ad, turn it into an Android ad, and now you've got your two ad sets ready to go. I should mention here, when you set your budget at the ad set level, you're setting two separate budgets. So if you put your budget at $10 for the Apple ads and $10 for the Android ads, that means your total budget is $20. So you need to keep that math in mind. Another strategy you could use is at the campaign level, there is an option to utilize a tool that is called Campaign Budget Optimization. And what this means is that you can give a budget to the entire campaign and then allow Facebook to automatically optimize that budget between your ad sets. So with this strategy, you could set a campaign budget optimization, the campaign budget for $20. And then Facebook may end up spending $15 on Apple and only $5 on Google, or vice versa, depending upon how your audience is responding to those ads. So this is an effective way to give Facebook a little wiggle room to get you the best bang for your buck with your Facebook ads. And that's it. That is strategy number 2. I want you to know that with the podcasts that we tested this on, we definitely saw a lift in listenership. One of the podcasts that I tested the strategy on was Kid Friendly Joke of the Day. And through the Kid Friendly Joke of the Day, we saw a lift during the 4 weeks that we were running this test. And within that podcast, they promote another podcast that's a part of their network, Kid Friendly Animal Fun Facts. That podcast also saw a lift, which leads us to believe that listeners of Kid Friendly Joke of the Day, they heard that promotion and then took action to listen to the other podcast as well. Now, the big disadvantage with promoting podcasts, we have very limited access to statistics. We have to draw a lot of conclusions based on the data that we see. And these were the conclusions that we were able to draw. Again, I mentioned this is a very effective strategy if you have a mobile app. So if you have a mobile app and it's for Apple, you want to make sure that you segment your audiences so that you're only showing the app to mobile users on Apple devices. And in the same respect, if it's an Android app, you want to make sure you're only showing it to mobile users on Android. And if you do have an app that's on both platforms, you want to segment your traffic appropriately to make the path as seamless as possible so that Apple users directly are going into the iTunes store and Android users are directly going into the Google Play Store. As always, if you have any questions, you can ask them within the Familypreneur community at familypreneurcommunity.com. And I encourage you to download that free quarterly campaign planner. The first thing that you're going to get within that planner is my 7 elements for a successful Facebook ad campaign, which goes through the 7 things that you really need before running Facebook ads if you want to see a return on your investment. All right. And one of those things is going through a complete understanding of what the objectives are. So download that quarterly campaign planner at megbrunson.com/plan. And then join the Familypreneur community to ask any questions that you have. I am passionate about helping other parents do what I've done and leave the corporate world, work from home, build their own business, and really build a life that they're more proud of, spend more time with their kids. And the way that I can best support you through this process is by helping you with your marketing strategy, because that's my zone of genius. So download the quarterly campaign planner at megbrunson.com/plan, join the Facebook community at familypreneurcommunity.com, and let me know how else I can support you on this journey. You are doing amazing. Until next time, I hope you have a great day and enjoy the rest of your week. And remember, we'll be back every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with more great content for you. Bye.
Did you know that my mom has a Facebook page, Instagram account, YouTube channel, and more? Her username is The Meg Brunson. Just about everywhere. You should go follow her.